The Houston Astros have replaced James Glick, not to be confused with Jiminy Glick, or I guess James Click, not to be confused with Jiminy Glick. I just did confuse him.
You did. Well done.
Yes.
Nice.
Anyway, so they hired Dana Brown as their new general manager. He spent the last 4 seasons as the vice president of scouting for the Braves. He's also been with the Blue Jays, Nats, and Pirates. I think this is an interesting hire because I don't know that he has had like a sweeping influence across any of the organizations he's been with. This feels like an experience hire, right? That like if somebody, what's that?
Like an internship?
Maybe, I don't know. But like they're like, this guy's been in baseball for a while. We can bring him in. He knows what he's doing. Rather than being like, this guy had a sweeping influence through the Blue Jays organization is the reason that they're competitive every year. The Nats, when they won that World Series, he was the guy whose influence was felt in the scouting room. The Pirates, that year they made the playoffs, it was because of Dana Brown. I doubt that that's the case. Yeah, I'm not saying you've got to have like some monumental hire for your general manager, especially with a team that's as well run as the Astros. But on the other hand, though, if you bring in a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, you can crash a franchise for a decade, even if he's only there for 3 years.
Or, Brad, do you bring in a guy who doesn't know what he's doing so that the puppet masters can continue to run the well-oiled machine and have somebody that they don't have to worry about getting in the way?
I hadn't thought of that.
That's the first thing that came to mind, is that they can maybe this is somebody that they can push around and bully into keeping things the way they want it.
Could be. But this is my only thing with it, is that the Mariners brought in Jack Zaremczyk. We still talk about the Jack Z years, and everybody has a little bit of PTSD, and every time it's always, And so he legitimately, Brig, crashed the franchise for a decade.
Right.
He came in and he's like, we're going to be analytical focused and we're going to go by the numbers. We're going to bring the fences in because it's a mental thing with the players. We'll bring it in 5 feet. Not that big of a deal, just enough that they can get over the hurdle. They'll hit more home runs. They didn't. They lost.
Everybody else did.
Everybody else did. Exactly. They had just like some of the worst years that the Mariners have had in a very long time. Signed Robbie Cano to a terrible contract that nobody else was even bidding against themselves. They let Jay-Z push him around in the negotiating room. And then finally the owner fired him and was like, we want somebody who's not learning on the job, because that's what Jack Z was doing. I wonder if I'm not saying Dana Brown is learning on the job, but he's never been a GM before. He's been a scout, which means that he knows what he's looking for in guys. But putting together a team and managing all the finances, I feel like is a really big deal. Maybe the Astros have a really strong team president who can like take care of that stuff for him.
Right.
But I don't know. It's a really interesting hire. And honestly, if it crashes the Astros for the next 10 years, I'll be fine with them.
Right. Yeah, you'll be pretty happy. Yeah. Until some radical realignment comes out. Right. You're happy with the Astros being in trouble, for sure.
Exactly right. Yeah, because then it opens up the division again.
Right.
And that's what we want.